Ross Gerber just went off the rails on Dan O'Dowd on CNBC over this video.
But, oh. There we go.
That was you braking?
I braked. Yeah.
This is the almost legendary video at this point, where a Tesla on full self-driving almost goes through a stop sign. What's interesting about this is Ross Gerber is the driver and Dan O'Dowd is the passenger, a longtime Tesla bear. We got you that video. And Ross Gerber, you definitely make the bulls proud. We also have some big economic data coming out tomorrow that could move the markets and could affect Tesla stock. We got you the latest on that as well. Not to mention some very bullish news that came out for Tesla in after hours that needs to be acknowledged. So we have a jam-packed video. If you like to make money, if you want to grow your net worth, if you want to reach financial freedom as quickly as possible, or you just want to stay up to date with everything happening in our markets as well as with Tesla stock, this is the place to be. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for doing it, and let's get into it.
Psaki president and CEO. He's also a Tesla investor and former board member. And Dan O'Dowd, founder of the Dawn Project. As we mentioned, Dan has been a longtime critic of Tesla over self-driving technology. He's been in a battle with the company over it. Thank you both very much for joining us. Since we know Ross's position in the stock, Dan, just to lay the table here, are you short any shares of Tesla or have any financial ownership or relationship here?
Nope. No, nothing, no shares, no puts, no calls, no anything.
Why did you get, in your bio it says, you know, your sort of goal is to see full self-driving eradicated. Why is that?
Well, not eradicated necessarily. If they can make it work, I'm perfectly happy for it to come out, but it can't be out of there on the road. This is the worst piece of software I've ever seen in a safety critical product. It has horrendous safety defects that are simply intolerable, and it is not converging on success. They're not fixing the problems. They're still there. 7 months ago, I told them that a FSD would blow past a school bus with the red lights flashing and the stop sign out. I showed it to them. They didn't do anything. In February, I made a Super Bowl commercial showing this exact same thing, and they ignored it. And in March, a kid in North Carolina stepped off a school bus, and a Tesla on self-driving Tesla ran past the flashing lights and ran the kid down and put him in the hospital, and he still is not fully recovered. And they've done nothing to fix the fact that it blows past school buses. It's insane. Nobody would build a product like that. It is totally irresponsible.
Ross, did you get Dan in the car? How did this car ride happen here?
Yeah, Dan agreed to go in the car, and so we went up to Santa Barbara and met with him, and I let him pick wherever he wanted to drive as long as it was a real drive in a real environment. And he said, drive me to the office. So I said, okay, fine. So we got in Tesla, I engaged full self-driving, and it drove us to the office perfectly. You can see it all in the video. We went through 13 stop signs, 8 humans were avoided, 6 construction workers in a construction site. We went by fire trucks, schools, and everything. And the drive was perfect. And in fact, really the challenge that Dan is dealing with is the fact that his entire narrative is false. And everything he's saying is a bunch of garbage. And really the worst part of it is he's saying I'm blowing a stop sign that we didn't even blow. You know, and I was driving. So if he really cared about people's safety, he would actually focus on the real things that need to be improved with full self-driving, which there are many, which he hasn't mentioned once. Just a bunch of false information and all this hyperbole and big words for software that's phenomenally good, and you can see it in the video with Dan sitting right there.
Ross, I don't know. I mean, Dan, I don't know which one of you is. Don't we just need a driving test for the software for self-driving? I mean, if it's a teenager,
we just drove through.
I don't mean your test. I don't mean your test. I mean, there ought to be a standard test where it's got to run a course a certain number of times successfully. Maybe it has to be repeated over and over again so that we as society can trust that this software can actually drive. I mean, it's like saying that AI can be trusted to solve business problems or write stories on its own. You have to check its work. So doesn't it have to be certified? Isn't that the real issue here? Government has to say, here's the driving test software. Dan, pass it.
Absolutely, positively. And that test must include that it does not go past school buses with the lights flashing and run the kids over. It did it. We said it was going to happen. A full-page ad in the New York Times, a Super Bowl commercial, for God's sakes, and 4 months later they've done nothing. That should be in the test.
Yeah, but those tests are raw software.
Ross, can you agree with that? There ought to just be a standard driving test. Not Ross and Dan went for a ride, and the rest of us have to take your word for it how the ride went, right? Society needs to know that this thing is being tested at a level that we can trust it, just like a submersible
I think my video shows. John, I think my video shows exactly what you're talking about.
But no, not your video. Like, your video is not good enough for all the rest of the country to trust, right? Tesla self-driving.
No, just let me finish. I agree there should be a standardized test for autonomous vehicles before we say it's level 4 autonomy. You don't have to pay attention anymore. I 100% agree. But for the car to learn how to drive, it has to learn through real world experiences, just like this stop sign, where the sign itself was 30 feet in front of the line. The speed limit on that street is too high. It's 35 miles per hour and it should be 25 miles per hour. And what we found was a dangerous intersection, not a problem with full self-driving.
You're conceding it missed the stop sign, Ross.
No. The stop sign was 30 feet in front of the actual line. So for the car, it creates a certain level of confusion because of the way the intersection was designed. Most stop signs are actually where the line
You have to operate on the roads that are there. You have to operate on the roads that are there right now.
You've done the test so many times.
You don't get to remake all the roads and drive on the roads when your product is unsafe.
When we've spoken
and
with
does
this,
not work.
I just want to, Dan, kind of get on the record. And regulators, we're told, have taken a sort of cautious approach to this. And I don't understand how we can describe that when these cars are already out on the roads everywhere and this is permitted. What are the current regulations, Dan, around people being able to use full self-driving to the extent to which you guys did and Elon Musk has described and many others?
That the current situation is that if it's called a level 2 car, then there's no regulation. There's no testing. There's no analysis. There's absolutely nothing. You can do anything you want. If it's a level 4 car, which means no driver, then there's a bunch of rules and regulations, and you got to go through the state, and it's a lot of work. And Google and Waymo and Cruise and people like that have done that, and they have self-driving cars today. And but the problem here is what Elon Musk did was brilliant. He wrote into the manual that you have to keep your hands on the wheel at all times. And then he said, well, it's a level 2 problem. You have to have your hands on the wheel. But watch the videos.
That's exactly what happened.
Watch the videos.
So Ross, let's bring this back to what matters for investors here. If this self-driving is really going to be level 4, self-driving is really going to work, whose insurance is going to pay when the inevitable mistakes get made? And software makes mistakes. Even great software makes mistakes. We just need it to make fewer mistakes than humans, right? Is it going to be Tesla's insurance or the person in the car's insurance who trusted that the software was going to do what it says? Because it seems to me like maybe it's Tesla's insurance that should pay when the software makes a mistake.
That's correct. And that's why Tesla has an insurance company right now and is actually tracking all of our Tesla drivers driving and scoring it so that they are actually offering the insurance directly to Tesla drivers. And my assumption is once they go to level 4, that they will take the liability if there's an accident with a level 4 vehicle that was their fault. And I have every confidence that as this software is developed and widely adapted, we will save tens of thousands of lives. See, what Dan's doing is he's hindering he's trying to hinder the advancement of life-saving technologies because he's talking about a fake accident that never happened with some kid at some school bus.
Hang on,
and it's
Dan,
really ridiculous.
100
people are going to die today in regular cars, and we have to stop.
The current system is not great. We all grant that. Dan, you mentioned Cruise and Waymo a moment ago, and they do have autonomous vehicles on the road in San Francisco and the likes. Are they included amongst the players who you think are bad actors here, or do you think that their technology is responsibly being deployed?
They are 1,000 times more responsible than Tesla, which is reckless. It's not a question of whose insurance pays. It's who goes to jail when you ship a product with a bug in it so grotesque that everybody knows you don't pass the school bus. And it's been that way 7 months and they've done nothing. That's criminal. The kids are going to die and people should go to jail. Fix the damn software or take it off the road right now, or somebody's going to do it for you. This is ridiculous.
Dan, you know,
nobody,
they update the software every couple weeks.
Toyota wouldn't do this. Nobody would do this.
Gentlemen, thank you both. Appreciate you both coming on. Try to get to the bottom of this. Really, we do. Ross Gerber, Dan O'Dowd, we very much appreciate it.
Now, as far as the news that came out today in After Hours with Tesla, is that Electrify America is now the next to adopt Tesla's North American charging standard. Now, they're going to add this connector to its fast charging network in both the US as well as Canada. Tesla's Model Y also outshines European rivals, wins 2023 Auto Vista Group Residual Value Award. And they specifically won the award in compact and large BEV SUV category. The Model Y's robust value retention is attributed to innovative product development, durability, and strong brand recognition. Attributes such as an efficient driving range of over 250 miles, a robust supercharger network, and a minimalist design bolster the vehicle's position as a residual value champion. Strong brand recognition and consistent performance also cemented the Model Y's reputation as a reliable and valuable EV. This could be the biggest news, that Tesla is nearing third-party app support. Could a Tesla app store be next? This article says rumors of a Tesla app store have been around for years. News of a new wording for third-party app support in the Tesla app points to increased possibilities. It goes on to say, the center touchscreen inside Tesla vehicles supports video games and Zoom meetings. Tesla Arcade offers video games, but they come from direct partnerships and not as third-party ads. Reports have pointed to Tesla starting to support third-party apps as the company looks to offer features for its vehicle owners. Quote, while it's not possible to add third-party apps right now, the ability to view services with access is already live on the Tesla website, including that a rollout might be around the corner, the site stated. There's no doubt that the feature could significantly enhance how Tesla owners interact with their vehicles and third-party services, making a new era of intelligent, user-friendly experiences. Essentially, if you're kind of confused what this could mean, any app, I gotta look for my phone, any app that's essentially on your phone, you could put on your Tesla. Any video game you want, within reason, obviously. There's only so much computing power that a Tesla has, which is a great deal, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Any app that you can have on here, you could trade stocks directly on the Tesla interface. That's what we're talking about here. The opportunities for profit would be endless, but the appeal that would be for potential vehicle buyers would be enormous. There's no other vehicle that I know of that you can put any third-party app in the vehicle in a touchscreen tablet such as Tesla. If there is a vehicle like that, let me know down below in the comment section, but I think that would greatly increase appealability to buy a Tesla. And I think that would be a big selling point. It looks like Teslas are almost sold out in Australia after Tesla announced that there's going to be free supercharging. Yeah, in Australia, there's less than 20 new vehicles left in inventory. And it looks like a monumental Q2 is more inevitable, according to this article. This is great news. The Bears, unfortunately for them, have been caught with their pants down. And we're going to get into, after we talk about the economic data tomorrow, how Tesla stock could see a very strong end of this week. As far as the data coming out tomorrow, we are going to get at 8:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, core PCE price index month over month for May. You're expecting a deceleration from 0.4% to 0.3%. PCE price index year over year, you're expecting that to fall from 4.4% to 3.9%. PCE month over month, you're expecting that to fall 50% from 0.4% to 0.2%. And core PCE year over year, you're expecting that to remain flat at 4.7%. Personal income, you're expecting that to decelerate a little bit from 0.4% to 0.3%. Personal spending, I think, is a big wild card here. Personal spending last month was positive 0.8%. You're expecting 0.4%. So you're expecting a 50% drop in month over month personal spending. Think about it like this. The markets only care about a recession. Why do you think stocks sold off in 2022? Right? Obviously, the cost of capital was more expensive. The Fed was raising rates. But what's the bottom line? The Fed raising rates, when they raise them aggressively, has almost always led to a recession in the past. That is uncertainty. That leads to profits falling. That leads to people losing their jobs, bad things, right? Well, that's why markets sold off in 2022. Well, if you get personal spending that drops more than expectations, it's not going to be seen as a positive thing for inflation, because inflation is already moving down. What you want to see here is strong personal spending and inflation continuing to fall. That's the best case scenario outcome tomorrow. Better personal spending, maybe, 0.5 or 0.6 or potentially 0.8 again. That would be fine as long as inflation continues to decelerate. Where you have a problem with personal spending is if inflation accelerates and PCE does not fall and personal spending increases. That's a bad outcome. Good outcome, again, is PCE falling and personal income staying stable or increasing. That's showing you people are still spending money. Odds of recession would be falling with that scenario. Tesla stock was up about 0.5% today. Now, you're continuing on this bounce that you have seen since Tesla hit a low of $240 per share back here on June 26th, and then hit that same low on June 27th, and then ended up closing the day at $250.21 per share. You fell under 250, instantly bought that back up, broke above that 250 resistance, and now you're at 257.73. You're above that resistance level. This is positive. There's a lot of options that were placed today from hedge funds and institutions that are betting that Tesla stock does rally tomorrow. And the biggest thing that I would point out is there is a massive short position. The amount of shares sold short in Tesla is at its highest level in 2 years. You have to go back to June 15th of 2021 to see more shares sold short in Tesla than where we are right now. Tesla stock has rallied aggressively, and it looks like Tesla has a really good chance of beating the average estimate of 445 to 447,000 deliveries. If this number comes in higher than 250,000, stock's probably going up 5 to 10%. At least 5%, call it 5%. If you come in higher than 200 or 460,000 deliveries, the stock's going up 10 to 15%. Within the next couple of weeks, you could break over 300 or 350. With that proposition, do you want to be massively short heading into Sunday? Probably not. So we typically do see this the last day before a big catalyst, the last trading day of a big catalyst. You do typically see a strong close for Tesla. And I expect that to happen this time around, as it makes sense to cover on some of your short positions or hedge out some of those short positions, maybe by buying shares of Tesla, or maybe that is buying some options in Tesla. Both of those are bullish for the stock. So I expect a strong day tomorrow, but it's all going to come down to delivery numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel on your way out. Get yourself free stock down below in the description of this video with Webull. Sign up, deposit $1, get yourself 15 free stocks. Throw a couple free stocks my way. It's a win-win for everyone involved. And if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time every time I make a trade, we have a newswire over there. We have different trading strategies, like how to trade options with an account or day trade with an account less than $25,000. Bunch of different things over there. Come join that. Link down below in the description of this video. And if you guys have joined that, make sure you go to your Patreon and look for messages. We do have a system that sends out messages every morning to people that do sign up for that. Make sure that you have indeed signed up for it. If you need another invite or if something happened, message me over there and we will get that to you ASAP. Nonetheless, you guys enjoy the rest of your night and I will see you in the next one.